Are you ready for your final exam? First, I want to give all praises, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, Elder Bishop, the Great Millstone, who rule well. Peace and blessings to you fellow brothers pushing out this word in truth and sincerity. Shabbat Chanak, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh. Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, Shalom. To all the believers out there fighting for their faith in these wicked, evil, demonic last days. And we are definitely in the last few milliseconds of the wicked, or the wicked rulership. Esau is the end of the world. Alright, and within that, Esau is getting ready to throw the biggest tantrum ever known. Okay? He's that bad child that has all the toys, and you play with a rock. You leave him alone, let him play his toys. He won't share, and you go and you play with a rock, and you having fun with a rock on the other side of the park or the other side of the room, and he gets mad at you because you're having fun with a rock. He don't even want the rock. He just sees you having fun, and he doesn't like that. He's supposed to have the fun. All right, so he throws a tantrum. All right, that's what he's getting ready to do. All right, Revelation 12 and 12, and this is in transit. I'm gonna pull some scriptures, but I'm gonna quote mainly some scriptures because I'm driving. Okay, still on the road, headed to the Midwest. Okay, or is that the mid Southwest? I don't know what's right. But the scripture, right? Revelation 12 and 12. The devil woe unto the earth. Okay, let me get that. I can pull that one. Let me pull that one. Woe unto the world. I'm gonna pull it in the NLT. Let me pull it in the NLT. Okay. And basically going into, as I was been watching videos on the road, listening to, apostles, elders, brothers, going in, listening to a lot of geopolitical news. The hot topic is the war in Iran. Listening to the financial things that are going on. The rumor of the collapse and all these things that we've been speaking about for years. These whistleblowers been blowing the trumpet for years. We've been blowing the trumpet for years on these things, and we're literally here. We're literally here. But see, you don't want to get distracted with all this madness. Remember, Yahushua said, "You should hear wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for the end is not yet." There's still certain things that have to happen. Isaiah 4:1, that the draft has to happen. Race wars, civil wars, a lot of things have to happen, but it's going to move quick. And under the disguise of all that is what? The MOTB. Okay, that's pretty much what this video is going into. Are you ready for the final exam? And I'm going to get that definition. You're in school. You got the final exam. This is the test. The exam is a test. This is the test to prove that you learned something the whole school year. Like you actually were listening. You actually absorbed what you were being taught. Okay? And there's a passing score. Alright? The passing score, in this case, is you not taking an MOTB and you being part of the elect. That's the passing score. Alright? And you're going to have a lot of Israelites that know the Israelites that say that they believe, that are going to break under pressure. This is already happening. Jake breaks under pressure even now. Okay, because of their lack of faith. So basically our final exam is a test of our inward man, our faith, our spirit. Not the outward man, but the inward man. Okay, in the outward man, the flesh is going to try to, disrupt. He's there to, be the opposition. So this is Revelation 12 and 12 in the NLT. Okay? It says, "Therefore rejoice, O heavens." Alright? "And you who live in the heavens, rejoice." And our conversation is in the heavens, so we live in the heavens as well. Okay? And in spirit. Okay, our mind is in heaven. When we get together, the Akim, yeah, we'll talk about certain, talk about a lot of different things, right? But it all circles back to the scriptures. We all filter it through the scriptures. Okay, we're not talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy this house and then I'm gonna flip houses and I'm gonna go to school and it's gonna take me 6 years. Yeah, brother, yeah, get enrolled and do this. Remember what the scriptures say, use this world but don't abuse it. You go into that word, I remember I looked it up years back. One of the definitions is overuse. Okay? If I'm not mistaken, one of the definitions is overuse. So don't overuse this world. And Peter's, it speaks about knowing that all these things shall be dissolved. All right, when the heavens shall be on fire, meaning when the nuclear war comes, and we see that percolating, we see that kindling already there. Yahushua spoke about it in Luke the 12th chapter. I am come to was that Luke 12 and 49 or 51? I always get that mixed up. I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? The kindling is there, the scrub, the shrub, and the sticks and the barks and the dry material to get the fire started. So the fire's already going to be started when Yahushua comes back, meaning it's going to be all out hell on earth. All right, Luke the 21st chapter talks about the waves roaring. There should be constellations in the heaven. All right, men's heart filling themselves for fear, for looking upon the things that shall come upon the earth. Okay, vaguely paraphrasing. Okay. All right, it says, but terror will come on the earth. See, and you have a lot of people online that are having dreams. I was watching a video of the Elder Apostle Tahar. He did a response to the elder in North Carolina, Elder Hawad. Basically about an individual having a dream about Americans being drafted, and how there was no men. He was like the only man in the city, and the scriptures speak about that. How there should be 10 left in the city, So we're at that time, but remember, through all that chaos, what comes? What's the final exam? The final exam is the hour of temptation, okay? Which is Jacob's trouble, which you are going to be confronted, all right, through great distress, okay, playing on your flesh, your fear, all right, if you're going to put this RFID microchip inside your skin or in your head. And if y'all talk about that, if you got a problem with it, just go watch a dog video. Go watch a dance compilation video. Do you know that you can learn how to salsa on YouTube videos? Do you know how you can become a cybersecurity expert just by watching YouTube videos? You can be an expert in editing videos just by watching YouTube videos. You can learn how to do the Harlem Shake on YouTube. Do you know you can learn how to make the perfect chana masala from an actual Elamite? That's going to give you all the recipe of how to do it on YouTube. So if you got a problem with what we saying and you don't believe, there's a million other things that you can look into. But just you also are going to be confronted with this. Okay? With the whole world is going to be confronted with this. Okay? All right, it says and I'm gonna read in the King James too. I'm gonna read in the King James too. But terror will come on the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you in great anger, knowing that he has little time. The devil, he's gonna come down with great anger. So you're telling me the devil, he's in the core of the earth with a trident, in a loincloth with horns, red, and he's gonna come down. Come on, man, that don't even make any sense. Speaking about the so-called white man. All right, and he's showing his horns. You have Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War speak about no mercy. They're not going to show the Iranians no mercy. Now you got Trump begging his allies to help open up the Strait of Hormuz. Help do escorts. So we're going to see if any other nation, any U.S. nation is going to help America. But I was watching a video from the foreign minister of Iran. He was giving statements, right? His second interview, and he said, "Look, the Strait of Hormuz is not closed. Okay, it's people. Their ship's still going. It's just that the American ships can't go, and the Israeli ships can't go." And then I just heard a video from Dabus basically saying that in order to go through that ship, the Strait of Hormuz, you have to pay in the Chinese yuan. Okay, so this is the acceleration of the collapse of the petrodollar. Okay, so expect hyperinflation. All right, the Apostle Elder Tahar, he's been speaking about hyperinflation for years. Scoffers and scorners, and we learned from that. We learned we didn't know what that was until we came into truth, and then we got into it. Okay, because you got to know these. You got to understand money. You got to understand how this is a debt-bearing note. Okay, you got to understand inflation, appreciation, depreciation. Okay, like when a car depreciates. Like Jake goes and buys the fanciest car, and then right when you get the car off the lot, most of those cars depreciate 20-30%. You didn't even drive a mile yet. So then you try to go on for resale value, and now you're upside down. Okay, instead of you getting a reliable car that holds its value, it appreciates. There's particular cars. Okay, like you got like Toyotas and stuff like that, Hondas. They will actually appreciate. Meaning, you bought the car, and 5 years later you want to sell it. You want to sell the car. You actually made money off of the purchase because it increased in value. Okay, Jake doesn't know that. These Americans don't know that. They don't understand the financial system, which is nothing but snares and debt, snares and trap. The actual dollar bill, the paper money that you have, is an actual it's an actual trap. It has a spider net on it. It's a talisman. Look how many people kill themselves, kill people over, that paper money. And now, what do you think that people are going to do when that's all null and void and you have to go to digital currency? These people are going to bug the hell out. And what's going to happen? What's going to happen right after that? What is the main event that's going to happen? Okay, under the disguise of all this chaos, the devil coming down. What is he going to do? Why is the scripture in the Bible? What is the understanding of this? See, you ask any of these Christians, they wouldn't know. They don't know what's up from down, right from left. Okay? They don't know when something is spiritual or something is literal. They don't have any understanding, okay, of the scriptures. Okay, just bear with me. They don't have any understanding of the scriptures. They don't have, and they damn sure don't know prophecy. And you got a particular individual. I just did a video on Professor Jing. He trying to break down prophecy and go into eschatology, which means the study of the end, and bring out the Bible. You even have world leaders speaking, Armageddon. You only can find that in the scriptures. Talking about the war of Gog and Magog, and they understand certain things, but they don't have the full understanding. They don't have the full knowledge. We do. All right, the babes. All right, the prophet. The prophet is the most important man, okay, on the earth. Okay? And that's going to be revealed in these times. I'm gonna get the scriptures. Because let me get it. Second Ezra. And I'm gonna have to jump around, but I'm gonna go right to the point on this one. Second Ezra 16 and 17. You gotta start up to get the point. But I'm gonna come back here, but I want to read this. Second Ezra 16 and 73. And we're in these times. Second Ezra. I was watching Elder Apostle Tahar. Okay. Second Ezra 15. Second Ezra 16. Second Ezra 13. Okay. In that order. All right. Are you ready for your final exam? We're getting ready to see all these Israelites. It ain't gonna be about you wearing your fringes, you having the arm pads, you doing the debates. All that shit's getting thrown out the window. You're gonna be tested with this RFID microchip. Okay, there's gonna be no guessing in that day. Okay, so are you ready for your final exam? 2 Ezra 16 and 73. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Okay? They're going to be tried as gold in the fire. Everybody else is going to get literally burned up. That's here in America. They're going to fail the test. Everybody is getting ready to be tested to see what manner of material they are. Are they gold? Are they silver? Which is actual real money, a real commodity? Or are they wood, hay, or stubble, which cannot stand, all right, in front of the heat? They get burned up. Okay? There's some more scriptures that come in my mind. Let me get that. Zechariah. Bear with me. I'm going to hold Zechariah, but let me get this. Zechariah 13. Bear with me, right? Because it said that they shall be tried, as gold is tried, essentially. Because the elect are likened unto gold and silver. Okay? And when you put gold and silver, all right, when you put gold and silver in the fire, what does it do? It purifies it. It makes it more refined. It makes it more precious. Oh, there's another scripture, Isaiah the 13th chapter. Is that 13 and 14? I shall make a man more precious than fine gold, even the golden wedge of Ophir. So the men of the Lord, you're going to see when the whole world goes to shit, when these people lose their bowels, meaning their mind. The bowels are also associated with the mind or the spirit. When they lose their bowels, okay, which goes into incontinence, they can't hold it. When somebody's incontinent, they can't hold their bowels, or they can't hold their urination. Okay? The men of the Lord are going to have strong bowels in that. You're going to have a man's stomach. Okay? To see death like we've never seen it before. Drone strikes. Crazy weather events. Mass death. People dying in your family. Dropping dead. People bugging the hell out. Our neighbors fighting each other. Killing each other. I was watching a video on that. A brother was doing a video on that. There's so many things we can be talking about. There's so much prophecy popping off, okay? But I want to get that definition, okay, going into final exam. Because we're all getting ready to come to the final exam. And we've been going through different prep tests. Remember, this is all a test. We're being tested on a daily. Every day we're being tested. Okay, and you want to pass that test. Okay, and you want to learn from your mistakes. Because this test, there is no redo. You can't redo this test. You can't take the chip. Oh, that's not what it's talking about. Then you took the chip and then you find out that that's what it's talking about. And then you say, all right, Lord, can I get a redo? Now, ain't no redo. Okay, the Spirit is on us heavy to keep speaking about this topic. Okay, the Spirit was bothering me, like last week. I gotta do a video on the MOTV, man. This is important. All right, and there's really no big news on it. The information is already out. Okay, it's going to be offered to you under the disguise of chaos, under the disguise of war. You have to be You have to be in a very low state to a very vulnerable state to actually consider it. When there's major famine, people not eating that. Nope. Right now, and I'll be speaking my lesson. Okay, you can right now. You can go get a goddamn 100-piece nugget every fucking day, and it'll never run out. You be like, goddamn, where all this chicken come from? All the sauce, all the sweet sour sauce, the barbecue sauce. You can eat to your heart. You can eat till your fucking head explodes. Okay, and it'll never run out. Pizza never run out. Bread it never runs out. So you've been accustomed to that. You've been accustomed to living lavish. Even the most poorest person here in America. A lot of Americans, I don't know, 20%, 30%, are fed by the government. Okay, and then these food companies, these farms, these food companies, these manufacturers, they get rich off of the money being filtered through the EBT program, man. All right, so this is a final exam meeting, right? This is AI overview. A final exam or final examination. Yeah, because the Most High is going to have the scope. The scopel is already on us, but it's going to be fine-tuned in that day. And you're literally either going to have the mark of Satan, the devil, okay? Which Satan is a spiritual being. The devil is the physical counterpart. The Satan works through Esau, the devil, the so-called white man, starting with the elite bankers. Okay, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, so on and so forth. The elite banking families that do the Epstein shit, and far worse that you never seen. You. There's probably videos online, man. You gotta be in the dark web. Okay, so that shit is out there. You know, snuff films, mutilation. Raping of children. That shit is on some dark web. They do that shit, man. All right, and it's all for gods. They're the spirit of Satan. So you don't think that they wouldn't start a war? They wouldn't start a war when this is what they do on a daily. They literally grind up children and put it in your McDonald's. And you got these assholes that eat it. They'll hear it and they'll still eat it because they got demons on them. Okay, final exam or final examination is a comprehensive test. You gotta look that word comprehensive. Very detailed. It's going to cover everything. Test, project, or assessment administered at the very end of an academic course, semester, or school year to evaluate a student's cumulative knowledge and understanding. Yeah, we're gonna see. We can go back to the scripture in 2 Ezra 16. Then shall you know who are my chosen, because the elect are going to pass the test. It's a test of faith. So let me go to not second Ezra, Zechariah. Okay, you can look up more. We know what a final examination is. All right, I don't have to explain that. All right, we get the point. All right, that's the hour of temptation. That is our final test. Give me a moment. Bear me a moment, please. Bear with me a moment. Zechariah 13 and 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Lord. This is speaking about the land of America, which is the main focus in prophecy, because this is Babylon the Great. Babylon, who ought to be destroyed. You're going to have different parts of the earth that's going to suffer catastrophe. Absolutely. The whole earth is going to shake to and fro. You're going to have a lot of people die off. Okay, through the nuclear fallout, through the hurricanes, Yeah, of course. But the main focus is speaking about a Babylon the Great. This is where the bulk of the tribes are at. All the tribes are here. Okay? Said the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. This is why we speak about the 2/3. So did we not learn ratios in school? I don't know what grade that was. 3rd grade, 4th grade, you know. But we learn ratios, the pie chart. 2/3 is more than 1/3, of course, obvious, right? The Most High said He gonna cut off 2/3, 2/3 of our people. The Pookies, the Ray Rays, the Keishas, the Big Mamas, the Alejandras, okay, the Tishas, the Marias, you know, the tribes. 2/3 gotta go. The Israelite foreigners that ain't right, they gotta go. Okay, the certain Italians, certain Irish. Okay, because remember, Babylon is the melting pot. It says, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the 3rd part shall be left therein. The 3rd is speaking about the 1/3, starting with the prophets, man. This is why we speak about the 1/3. With the 1/3, it is a big number, so you're gonna have a lot of Israelites that's gonna, you know, believe, that's going to be delivered. They're going to pass the test, but there's going to be a greater number of our people that have heard, you know, it's pretty much like an open book test. The Most High has been building us up. Okay, it's open book, and the Most High is teaching you through repetition, which is the best way to learn something. For example, I'm like real, you know, I get into the herbs, right? You know, brothers know me for getting into the herbs, right? But I literally go over the information every day. And I'll read the same thing over and over, over and over, over and over, over and over. And then it gets stuck in your head. It's just like when we read the scriptures. We know these precepts because we go over them daily. Okay, so the Most High is teaching Jake. He got the prophets out there. Beat times, rising up early. He got them there for you to see. What is it? Isaiah 30. It's Isaiah 30 and 20. Thy eyes shall see thy teachers, and then you shall hear a voice behind thee saying, this is the way, walk ye in it. So Jake when I say Jake meaning Jacob, the Israelite, you don't have any fucking excuse. Okay? Jake don't have no, so when the body start hitting the floor, when the Most High is putting us in that certain state of mind. The Most High can put you in a certain state of mind. Inside joke. Okay? The Most High is putting us in a certain state of mind to be prepared for these things and to actually hasten these things. Hasten the destruction of the 2/3. Hasten the destruction of the heathen. Starting with Esau, Edom, man. Hasten the destruction of Babylon the Great. Because once this bitch goes, okay, we good. Alright? Like, you know, brothers putting the videos and pretty much Esau's bugging the hell out. And we see that this war, they about to do the draft and all that. We've been talking about this for years. Our apostles and elders longer. We learned that from them. And it's obvious and it's clear. It's manifest at the end it shall speak and not lie, Habakkuk the 2nd chapter, right? And we go over the same scriptures over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Okay? We go over it again and again. Now I forgot, damn, it just escaped me. I was making a point. Salakia. You know, Saint, you know, try to take points, but it's all good, man. It's all good. All right, if it come back. Verse 9, and I will bring the 3rd part through the fire. Literally through the fire. Literally. Okay? But also through the furnace of adversity. There's a scripture on that. Okay? And that's us going through our daily hells. Financial problems. Woman problems. Either you don't got a woman and you got problems because you burning and you want a woman, or you do got a woman and she giving you problems. Just Babylon the Great is problems. A man's supposed to have multiple women. All right, we're subject to payments. We're under this damn devil's rule. Okay, the air is polluted. The water's polluted. Your car breaking down. All right, your fucking teeth are going bad. All right, you gotta fucking go on a detox every 3 days because your shit fucked up. Because the foods are toxic. So we want the hell up out of here. So I'll listen. Oh, that's the point. I'll listen to videos, and I'm like, yeah, this shit is popping off. This shit's popping off, man. You know how gas can go up crazy, inflation. You know what I mean? Like, you got a tax here. The tax going to be here in the States. And you know that demon, that worry demon. I'm like, man, fuck that, man. Let it go. Let it happen, man. Let that shit happen right now. Let's go. We gotta go. The Most High said he gonna save Jacob through it. So we don't have nothing to fear. Provision is already made. I remember the elder Ariella, he did a video on that. Maybe a year, 2 years back, 3 years back. Things really, things are always heating up. Okay? It's not gonna slow down. The pot is just getting started. It's just getting stirred. It's just getting juicy. Okay? But he did a video. I remember that. It stuck out to me. Provision is already made. It's already set up in the spirit. We're being trained. We're being refined to what? To rely on the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Shai, and not to rely on the carnal mind. When the deal goes down, these people are going to what? They're going to rely on the carnal mind, which is going to put them in a predicament to fail the test. Because the test can only be passed through faith. Because through faith, you're not going to take it, and you will actually rather suffer death. Because some of us, our tests will be tested with death. All right, you believe? All right, well, if your head get chopped off, will you still going to believe? And the Most High will bring us there. Like, some of our heads are going to be chopped off. Okay? Do you believe that deep? That's the type of belief you got to have. And these videos are going out to prepare you for these things, man. So when this shit come, you go, well, I didn't know what was going on. The Most High don't want to hear that. Okay? He don't want to hear that you didn't know. Ignorance is not an excuse. That's what Esau say. Ignorance is not an excuse for breaking the law, something like that. And the Most High had the prophets out for so many years, going viral on YouTube, on WorldStar, on your block, in the woods, all over the internet, on TikTok, on Instagram, on all your social media platforms. So now there's no excuse. You can't claim ignorance. Okay? Let me finish this off. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and I will refine them as silver is refined, and I will try them as gold is tried. Right, we're going to go through that final examination, that final exam, which is going to be the ultimate purification. And that's going to lead to what? The new body. That's going to lead to everlasting life, pleasure evermore. That's what's on our mind. All right, yeah, we got to wake up in the morning, go to work, we got to do things, and we got to do, yeah, absolutely, of course, yes. Yes, we got to do that. Yes. But that's not the end-all, be-all, man. If your woman acting up, the Most High, look, man, the Most High can replace all you women. We don't need, and the Elder Apostle always goes into it. We don't need the Israelite woman. The Israelite woman needs us. Okay? The Israelite woman needs us. We don't need her. We can get with Moabite women. Okay? We can get with straight up Chinese women. We can get with the she devil, the Edomite woman, and she'll bear Israelite children. They can bring the through. We don't need, the woman is just the incubator. Which, yeah, the Israelite woman, she plays an important role. Yeah, she's an Israelite. Yeah, she's gonna be eternal. Yeah, but let's put things into its proper perspective. We don't need you women. You women need us, and it's gonna be made evident when shit hits the fucking fan. Okay, if you were smart, you would. But that just goes to show you that majority of these women are not smart. Okay, like the Elder Apostle Rakah said, they're dildo heads. Okay, and we gonna get the woman that we want. Okay, and if your spirit ain't, we gonna be able to see right through your spirit. If your spirit ain't right, like literally, we're your only hope. Literally. So if the Most High If the Most High loves you, he'll put you with one of the men of the Lord. If he don't love you, well, he gonna burn you up. Okay? And I will bring you to the third part through the fire, and I will refine them as silver is refined. And I will that's why they don't like watching our videos. Cause we real. We don't cater to you women. Okay? You women need to cater to us. You need to get that in your thick skull. And will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. So you got to know the name IUIC. Okay? Which I feel you're going to have members of the IUIC. You got to elect members. I believe you got to elect members amongst them that's going to get their head right. And they going to call on the true names. They ain't going to call on Most High Christ bless. Okay? And I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people. And they shall say, the Lord, or Yahweh, through his son Yahushua, is my power. Okay? And that's going to be made evident when the whole world is going to be calling on these false gods. Like Islam, they're going to be calling on Allah. Why hasn't Allah, the great prophet Allah, or the great prophet Muhammad, why hasn't Allah at least sent his prophet Muhammad to come down and block one of them goddamn attack missiles? Block one of them tomahawks. Why didn't he block the tomahawk from blowing up that school, killing 100 and some children, schoolgirls? Huh? Why Allah didn't send Muhammad on the horse to come in and grab it out of the earth? Because Muhammad is not a real God. Okay? And see, the Most High, he's going to allow the destruction. And what's going to be magnificent is, at the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, all right, the last vial, the nuclear missiles, he's going to deliver his elect in a magnificent, spectacular way for the whole world to see. The whole world going to see it, and you people going to be left down here. Isn't that just like the best story ever? You literally can't make any story better than that. That is the grandest, they ride off into the sunset happily ever after. Because that's the story is just beginning. When that happens, the destruction of America that's the beginning of the elect, okay, living, actual life. That's the beginning of our story. Okay, this is the end of Esau's story. This is just the beginning, baby. Okay? We getting ready to be in the kingdom. And the kingdom is going to be on earth. Alright, so we're going to have God-like, not even God-like, we're going to be gods. But just for the sake of the term, we're going to have God-like power in superhuman bodies. So we're going to be gods, angels. We're going to basically be angels in bodies down here. Okay, you can have children, you can have family, you're going to pop your woman, you're going to, have barbecues, you're going to drink wine, but then you're going to be able to do all the things that the Marvel comics did and more. All right, and ain't no villain going to pop up and you got to fight it. No, we're going to have total mastery over the earth. Remember the scriptures say in Ezra how the earth was created for our sake. So as an Israelite man down here on the earth, this whole earth was created for our sake. It was created for us, for our use. But right now, we do not have that use. We are subject, all right, to, the heathen nations. Okay, I'm done there. What was that other scripture? Damn, it escaped me. It escaped me. Yeah, it escaped me. You know what? I think that's the point. I'm just going to close it there. Until next time, shalom to the elect.